If you've been playing Honkai Star Rail, then you might be one of the people who has pulled Himeko when trying to get a featured character or from one of your 5 stars on the standard banner. And as I'm sure a lot of you know, Himeko is probably the worst 5-star character in the game right now. But there is a way to actually make Himeko not be as bad. So we're going to talk about a very underrated combo today in Honkai Star Rail, being running Himeko with Herta. Now, before I get into it, if you enjoy this type of Star Rail content and want to see more, definitely be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. So, the Himeko and Herta combo is definitely a very interesting one, because it definitely has its own niche for what it's good for, which I'll get into later on in the video. And it's also nice because every player is going to have a Herta, because you get multiple copies of Herta from the simulated universe. I personally have an E6 Herta, so there might be some time in the future where I do build Herta. Probably if I get Himeko at a point. That would be like the main thing that would make me consider that. But I'm going to go over each of them, not fully in depth for their kits, but more so about what makes them work together, and then I'm going to bring everything all together at the end of the video. So, starting with Himeko, and for both characters, it's going to relate to their talents, which is how they'll work together. So, Himeko's talent is revolving around her getting weakness breaks on enemies. So, Himeko can store 3 charges, and she gets a charge per enemy that she breaks she or another ally will break the weakness of. And once she has all 3 charges up, she'll be able to do a follow-up attack that will deal fire damage to all enemies, which is really nice because she's going to be able to, if she gets a weakness break with her skill, which hits adjacent targets, and she's able to get it on some of those like lower weakness gauge bar enemies, like the firefly looking things. She'll be able to get 3 pretty quickly. And then also, her ultimate is AoE, so that's also another way she'll be able to get weakness break. And once she does the follow-up attack, her charges will reset, but with Herta, as I'll go into later, you'll be able to get those charges back pretty easily depending on the enemies you're fighting. Then, to talk about Herta, so once again, like Himeko, Herta, it revolves around her talent. So her talent lets her do a follow-up attack when enemies fall below 50% of their health. And when you're fighting a lot of enemies, which is where this follow-up attack is the best, you'll get a hit of the follow-up attack per enemy that falls below 50% HP. So, if you, let's say for example, you use Herta's skill, which is an AoE, and you get 3 enemies down to below 50%, you're going to hit 3 times. And each follow-up attack hits all enemies, which is going to be really nice for when you're like grinding up against a lot of enemies, like if you're doing calyxes and stuff like that. It's going to be really clutch for that. And also with, I believe it's one of Herta's Eidolons, she does get a damage boost as well on this follow-up attack. And the only reason I'm bringing up Eidolons for Herta specifically and not for Himeko is because you're going to have multiple Eidolons for Herta. Like, I have my Herta E6 pretty easily. I am fully free to play. So, yeah, it wasn't too hard to get that to E6. So, that is definitely something to keep in mind. I'm sure there's plenty of players who have, they got all the Hertas from Simulated Universe, and then they got maybe a couple Hertas here and there from the standard banner. So she hasn't been featured yet on a character limited banner, I'm pretty sure. But now to talk about how the combo works. And this is very repeatable, as you'll see in either, if you use the combo against like calyxes, or if you did the Tales of Fantastic event, there are 2 stages where you can use a trial Himeko and Herta, where you can get the weakness break in, however many ways that you can, whether it's through Herta's AoE, Himeko's skill, Himeko's ult, Herta's ult, because all of those are either AoE or they are single target plus adjacent target. And both of them are erudition, so that's why they have a lot of adjacent target and then just AoE abilities. So once you get the weakness break to get Himeko up to 3 charges, she'll do a follow-up attack, and then her follow-up attack in a lot of those like farming situations will bring the enemies down below 50%, and if it brings them down below 50%, then Herta's follow-up attack will trigger, and if you're fighting like 4 or 5 enemies and they all get below 50%, you're going to be doing a lot of damage, and you'll probably even just kill straight up. So then you could pretty much just rinse and repeat, and you are going to be in a really good spot for, you know, farming stuff up. And so yeah, this team is definitely really good for farming. I would not recommend this this combo when it comes to like bosses and things of that nature, because you're not going to be able to weakness break them that easily, so you're not going to be able to get this off that consistently. But it is really good if you want to, like, if you really like Himeko, you really like Herta, and you want to make them usable for something, or if you just want to make your farming faster for, you know, whatever reason, they can definitely be a fun, underrated comp to run. And, you know, you'll run like a healer with them, maybe a support character as well, or like a shielder or something. But overall, you know, they are still like not as good as other combos, and, you know, maybe I'll make a video about what I think are like the top 5 like combos in the game, like 2-character combos, because I think that's definitely an interesting thing to look at, because there are a few that are good in the game, and I do want to, you know, cover some more of them as time goes on. But yeah, with that, I'm going to end off here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, definitely be sure to hit that follow button, not to follow that like button, acting like I'm on Twitch here, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff, and I will see you all next time.